Same. I was just like a, running the candy counter.
Oh, okay.
And,
but popcorn machine, that sort of thing.
The only special thing is when you're taking a tour of the theater, you're looking for guys doing things by themselves that they shouldn't be doing in public.
The Pee Wee Hermans.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I never found it. I never found one, actually. The only, like, really exciting thing that ever happened to me, and it happened to me in my first week. Now, I'm like 16 years old. I'm a kid saying I'm an adult.
Yeah, but you're a savvy kid. You're a kid that gets it, okay? Yeah. You're a kid that understands what's going on.
But I still didn't really have that much actual contact with women, all right? You know,
I understand.
I knew it all in theory, all right, but, you know, no actual practice. And what happened was, this happened the first week. I'm thinking, oh, my God, this is going to be a great job. I'm sitting there, and you close the register, you know, for the candy counter, so you can't sell anything else. And this guy and this woman come up. She's wearing like a, you know, kind of a white trash chick, and she's got like a demi vest. You know, they were kind of big back then.
Yes.
And she goes, "Hey, can I have a Crunch Bar?" You know, and that's a Crunch Bar. And I go, "I'm sorry, ma'am, we closed." He goes, "Oh, come on, just a Crunch Bar, please, come on, come on." You know, I go, "No, ma'am, I'm sorry, I can't. You know, I closed, and you know, actually I would have done it later, but I didn't know what I was doing." And she goes. She unbuttoned her thing and then like whipped it out. All right, you know. And said,
now can I
have the Crunch Bar?
And you said.
And I said, here. I was like, "Want me to cook a couple of hot dogs for you while you're at it?" Having the first week, so I'm thinking, hey, this job's all right by me. This don't happen at the Chinese theater.
We are with Quentin Tarantino. The picture is called From Dusk Till Dawn. It's in the theaters now. The toll-free is still up and running. Hope you're next on the line after these messages.
Well, first of all, Tom, you got a great show. And
thanks.
Jumping the gun.
Thank
you. My question is to Quentin is about, I know that you have a lot of board games.
Mm-hmm.
How many board games do you have, and who do you play them with? And do you and Ron Howard have a director's duel and play Happy Days or what?
No, what happens is I don't know how many board games I have right now because I haven't like counted them. They need to be organized right now. They're kind of all over the house. I collect board games. For people who don't know what he's talking about, what Chris is talking about is I collect board games that have to do with movies and TV shows. I just like collecting collectible stuff, culture stuff of my culture.
We all do, yeah.
And it's like, you know, there's like lunch pails out there you can collect and, you know, dolls and stuff, but they're so expensive. And I like the idea of collecting board games because you can actually, they can function, you can actually play and have a good time. And I think I probably have now about like maybe 50 or 60 board games. Unfortunately, I've been so busy, I haven't had a chance to play them that often with anybody, but I do play them a lot. I play them with Robert Rodriguez a lot. Could
you give us some idea of the titles of these board games?
Oh, yeah, well, it's like, well, they're all based on movies or TV shows, so it's like, you know, one of the rarest I have, because they didn't make that many of them, is George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. There's a board game to that.
Okay.
I got that. Okay, I mean, Dukes of Hazzard board game, which is actually a fun board game. It's about as close as you're ever going to get to actually getting in a car chase is doing that game. There's the Alien game. I have the Patty Duke game, the I Dream of Jeannie game.
No kidding.
All the way back to, I have some old ones. The Andy Cantor Tell It to the Judge game.
That's going back, kid.
Yeah, it's definitely an old one.
Now, would this include games that are based upon like game shows? Like there's the Wheel of Fortune game, and there was the old, what was the one?
Yeah, it was like and a lovely copy of Our Home Game while you're at it.
Yeah, exactly. But like, what was the one that Bud Collier used to do? You remember Beat the Clock?
Oh,
I remember we had this as kids, the Beat the Clock home game, where you'd set the clock and then you'd have to do some stupid trick, and my brother and I would play it and make our parents nuts. Would that qualify for what yours is?
Yeah, no, that was because it's a whole different thing. All right, those were tied in with that show to be specifically that. I've always liked the games where they like trying to work it into the movie. That's why, like, when I said, like, the remark about the Dukes of Hazzard game, it's like, you know, I mean, they try to recreate the show. The wildest game I have, as far as like just from like a weird standpoint, there's a Mr. T game. Okay. Now, the Mr. T game, what the object of this game, somebody at Milton Bradley must have been really busting a gut when they came up with this one. Because what would you think the Mr. T game would be about, all right? What it is you're not Mr. T. You are part of Mr. T's entourage. And Mr. T is going to leave, he's got like something to do, and you're going to leave on a plane in the next hour. You have to run his errands for him. And whoever finishes those errands in a certain amount of time wins. Because he's off on a plane.
Yeah, he's gone.
You don't finish his errands. I'm off. You're gone, man. I'm finding somebody else. I'm putting the food. Don't finish my errand. But now the list of the errands are particularly great. Return his library books. Pick up his dry cleaning.
Mr. T was always a great reader, wasn't he?
He was a great reader, you know. Mine is a terrible thing to waste.
Chris, a great question. Thank you for calling and thanks for watching.
I love your movies. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks. Now, is there a Quentin Tarantino? Is there a Pulp Fiction board game?
You know what? Okay. Officially,
I mean,
no.
if you collect them, you should create them.
Exactly. No, I want to. From here on in, I think I probably will. But there is a Pulp Fiction board game because a couple of cool guys, I'm probably going to screw up where they're from. They're either from Delaware or Rhode Island, one of the two, I think.
If people buy $20 million worth of their game tomorrow, they won't care where you said they're from.
Oh, no, it's like, no, they made one game for me.
Oh, okay.
They made one game for me, and they sent it to me, and it was so cool. Me and like 6 of my friends got together and played, and they really knew the movie. And it's like, and you're chasing around the board, and you're trying to bring Mia back to life, you know, the Uma Thurman character. And you have different cards. You have the GIMP cards, right, which kind of screw you up, all right, and you have the Wolf Says cards, which is Harvey Keitel's character.